Hello and welcome to The Game Plan, where we bring you in-depth analysis of the greatest game of all you won't find anywhere else. I'm Zach Bailey, joined by Anthony Seabold. Siebes, a great weekend ahead for the NRL. Magic Round returns to Brisbane. Yeah,
fantastic weekend. 2019, as coach of the Broncos, there was over 40,000 people at the stadium for the Friday night game against Manly. And it was a wonderful weekend across the 3 or 4 days in Brisbane. So this weekend's going to be special.
All right, I can't wait to get up there. I can't wait to see some of the key matchups at Suncorp Stadium this week. And that is our focus for today on The Game Plan. You mentioned there the Sea Eagles. They take on the Broncos again. Let's talk about two of the big men out wide for these teams, Xavier Coates and Jason Saab.
Yeah, a couple of the real young guns in both sides, and they're very similar type of players, both big guys, very quick, fantastic in the air, and that's where I want to start with today. I want to show you Jason Saab out here, the right winger for the Manly Sea Eagles, and he's got a fantastic relationship with Cherry Evans. And what they want to do is they want to try and put Jason Saab with a target, like a winger by himself, trying to isolate that particular player so he can jump above. And in this situation here, with Cherry Evans, he wants to put the ball onto the West Tigers' left-hand side wing. So Jason Saab's got a one-on-one contest. Now, he is special in the air. You'll see this. Very acrobatic, gets up nice and high. Not too dissimilar to an AFL player contesting a mark. Fantastic. So again, as I said, very similar, both right wingers. This time it's Xavier Coates playing against the Gold Coast Titans. Again, what they're trying to do is isolate the winger for the Gold Coast Titans. So Xavier gets a clean run into it. He's very special in the air as well. This time, doesn't score the try, but fantastic contest. Wins the contest. Great pass there to his centre partner in Tessie Newey, and fantastic try earlier this year.
Yeah, so they're both massive giants on the wing. So how do you diffuse that?
Well, it's really hard. One thing you need escort from your centre. So the two-in defender, he needs to make sure and try and get out and protect his winger and make Jason Saab or Xavier Coates run around them. Now, referees do look for that, but what you need to try and do is get yourself in the frame there or get yourself in the picture so Jason or Xavier have to go around you rather than have a clear run into the contest.
Okay, so that's them as kicking threats. What about their speed? They both have great sets of wheels.
We don't need to analyse this too much, Zach. This is pretty special from both of them. Two of the quickest men in the game, obviously Addo Carr is in the conversation as well, but Jason Saab and Xavier Coates have done some special things, finishing off some line breaks this year. So if there's a line break this Friday night on either side of the park, then expect Xavier Coates. And I'll just rewind this one back a little bit. You can see where Xavier comes from here. He's a long way back in the picture, comes up on the inside shoulder of Tyson Gamble, and runs away to score the try. So if there's a line break this week, expect Jason Saab or Xavier Coates to push up at some stage and put themselves in the frame.
They can be real game-changing players, can't they? Especially one like this. Morgan Harper gets the ball and Jason Saab just motors up alongside him.
Yeah.
Morgan goes, you can do it better than I can.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, there's been some really similar examples with the Broncos this year and Xavier Coates as well. So special players. This is another example from a few weeks back. Earlier in the season, Josh Addo Carr's trying to run him down. He runs away from Josh Addo Carr. That's very difficult to do. So that just tells you the speed that Xavier Coates has. Also Jason Saab. It's going to be a fantastic contest. Hopefully they both get in the clear on Friday night. It'll be a spectacle there at the start of Magic Weekend.
Yeah, we can't wait to see them in action on Friday night. On Saturday night, the showpiece match is the Cowboys against the Roosters. Let's focus on the number ones. James Tedesco, the best in the game, against a player that's really finding his feet at fullback at the moment.
Yeah, both very talented players. They've both got speed to burn. The thing that I think both have improved this year is their ball-playing ability. But to start with, they're both threats through the middle third of the field. And this is an example from Valentine Holmes. You'll see Valentine just sort of sniffing around the play the ball area here. What he does is he tries to wait on the inside shoulder of a forward who tries to engage the markers. And if the markers either overchase or underchase there like Thompson, then Val Holmes has got the speed to make sure that he makes a significant impact. And he makes a line break there, puts Jake Granville under the sticks. You'll see Tedesco, very similar, hangs around on the inside shoulder of Radley and the big Rooster forwards. Again, just looking to push up in support through that middle third. So if a marker overchases or a marker doesn't fill the space, then Tedesco and Valentine Holmes are going to ask some questions of the forwards. The other thing they like to do is they love to get out the back of shape. So there's Valentine out the back of the shape on the left-hand side of the Cowboys. He loves to run. He loves to run. He's thinking run first. I think he plays his best football when he thinks run first. Fantastic there by Valentine. He asked some questions. Tedesco again asked some questions on the right-hand side for the Roosters. and he's got the pace to finish it off as well.
We speak about magic. We want to see the magic in magic round, but that just showed there, that Teddy example, there was nothing happening there. All it took was a fend off the left and he just motored through.
Yeah, both players have got speed, right? So if they break a tackle, then they're a big chance to finish off the line break. So you saw there with Tedesco, but Valentine Holmes, he's really come on over the last sort of 4 or 5 rounds as a fullback. And the thing I want to go to next is the skill improvement in Valentine, particularly at the back of shape. The knock on him has been that he's a runner first and doesn't have that ball playing ability. You can see here on the left-hand side for the Cowboys, there's Valentine at the back of shape here. And he's combining really well with Drinkwater and also Jake Clifford at different times over the year. But that's a fantastic pass. Like, he's got a winger, right winger for the Warriors there, jamming hard on him. To catch pass like that is pretty special.
Does that show, that play there, before we look at Teddy's example, does that show that Valentine Holmes is a genuine number one now, given how hard he's worked and his ability to pull that off so early in the year?
Well, I think the big thing is, from an attacking point of view, he's always been a really good number one. He's improved his ball playing ability, which was an area that he needed to. I think the area that he needs to still be, I suppose, consistent with his line organisation defensively. So that's what Todd Payton would be working on with him. But he's fantastic at the back of shape. Iced the game the other day against the Broncos with a field goal late in the game to win the game for the Cowboys. But I think he's really improved his skill set this year.
James Tedesco, he's had his hand on the ball more for the Roosters with Luke Keary out this year. And again, you think this is a real improvement in his game?
I think it is. He's been first receiver a lot. He's helping young Sam Walker as a ball player. And I think he's really grown into that role this year. Now, whether it's to do with the way the Roosters have always wanted to play this year and, change their game, all teams sort of add to their game, or whether it's because of Luke Keary and Lachlan Lamb, who were the starting halves, being out injured for a long period of time. I think Tedesco's received the football way more than he ever has in any other season previous to this. And this is just an example of his ball playing ability. Sees an opportunity on a short side. He loves the right-hand side. As I said, if I take that back, obviously really good finish there by the right-hand side winger for the Roosters in Ikavalu, but I thought that's pretty special ability to get the ball to the person who needs to get it to. It was a 3v3 situation, but I just love how he's really developed his game as a ball player in 2021.
All right, we've looked at 2 speedsters, we've looked at 2 fullbacks. Now it's time to look at 2 men in the middle. On Sunday, it's the Titans against the Panthers. This should be a great matchup, in particular the battle between big men, Tino Fa'asuamaleaui and James Fisher-Harris.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic occasion. Those 2 guys clashing through the middle. They both run with real intent. Now, this is Fisher-Harris. He's been super impressive this year. He runs the ball as hard as any forward in the competition, and he often leaves defenders on the floor. So there's Pat Carrigan left on the floor, which means the hookers for the Panthers in Coruscant and Kenny this year have had opportunities to play on the front foot, but also Nathan Cleary's had the ability to kick off the front foot as well because of that intent that Fisher-Harris carries the footy. Another example, here's Tino in the backfield. He carries the ball strongly, again, leaves defenders on the floor. And if I take it back a little bit, Jack Whiten, who's a very strong defender, he leaves Jack there, pushes Jack away rather, finds space on the floor. The other thing is close to the line, Fisher-Harris and Tino are both threats. So the ability to be able to pass short to them, close to the line, and get a one-on-one with the defender is something to look out for this weekend at Magic Weekend. That's from last weekend's game there. Fisher-Harris picking up the ball short. This time, Big Tino pushes in through the middle third of the field there for the Raiders and pokes his nose through. Again, the ability to play off the back of that for the Gold Coast Titans halves is going to go a long way to deciding that game this weekend.
Slightly different players, but are they both as important to their team as each other?
Definitely. I think Justin Holbrook said over the last week or so, having Tino out for those couple of weeks, it was a big hole to fill. He said he's got leadership and captaincy abilities going forward. So I think having Tino back in the middle of the park not only adds something in attack, but I think defensively he's brought a lot of the traits, a lot of the effort areas that he was so good at down at the Melbourne Storm to the Titans. So, yeah, he's a big in for them. And Fisher-Harris, in my opinion, if he's not at the form front row in the competition, he's certainly in the top 2 or 3. And he's been fantastically consistent at the start this year. So they're very important to their respective teams.
Not only do they run with intent, run with purpose every time they get the ball, but they do have some ball playing ability as well.
They do, and I think Fisher-Harris has improved his ability to offload the footy in traffic, but also pass short in traffic since Ivan Cleary's gone back to the Panthers. So I think it's obviously something they've been working on there with their attacking coach. And, it's added to his game, which you can see off the back of an offload there from Fisher-Harris. They go all the way downfield, put pressure on the Melbourne Storm, who are a good defensive side. This time it's Fisher-Harris pushing up on the outside shoulder of Yo, and who's a very good, talented ball player, but gets a one-on-one, and that ability to offload the ball in traffic is something that's really come out in his game in 2021. And I think Big Tino's very similar there. There's not much doing there, but there's a great little offload to Fogarty, who picks up Kevin Proctor, and both have that ability to play before the line. But as you can see from a couple of examples there, they've got the ability to go into the line with defenders around them and be selective with the offloads and sight their offloads and get it to the right push support runner.
One of the great matchups also at Magic Round this weekend, the two skippers who wear number ones for their respective teams, Clint Gutherson for the Eels against Roger Tuivasa-Sheck for the Warriors.
Both very special players, both very talented. Gutherson's effort areas within his game are outstanding. He's a real effort player, and Tuivasa-Sheck has got footwork, he's got a ball playing ability, he's got speed to burn. And we'll start with Roger initially. Here's arm out for the Warriors, taking it forward. So again, a good play to follow in push support, but there's Roger pushing in support through that middle third of the field, which all good fullbacks do. It almost looks like he gets shot out of the cannon there when he comes onto the footy, but he's going to ask lots of questions this weekend against Parramatta. This time he's out the back of shape, and if you talk about shot out of the cannon in the last little example there, have a look at this. Sees the centre, jam hard, goes through that space, and again, great ball playing ability and vision there to finish that off for the Warriors. Again, he's out the back of shape here on the right-hand side. He seems to like the right-hand side of the field for the Warriors, and I think he's going to be a real threat there and ask a lot of questions this weekend against the Parramatta Eels left-hand side defence, because he's got this ability to not only ball play, but he's also got a freakish ability to use footwork in traffic and come up with a result.
Is he deceptively strong, do you think? Like just then, he's just bumped off players so easily.
He obviously is. He's a very powerful player. Like, he's got speed, and often, power and speed are very closely related. So when he gets when there's a one-on-one tackle against him, he does have that ability to push off that tackler, and he makes line breaks because he's got great footwork and great speed. So if you give him a one-on-one, he's a chance to break a tackle. He'll ask a lot of questions of the Parramatta Eels this weekend.
Yeah, so Roger is a genuine game breaker, as we've seen there. Two special players. Clint Gutherson, he's a real worker. We spoke about effort areas here on the game plan last week, and no one really does it better in the game than Guther.
No, exactly. Earlier this season, we showed some examples of Gutherson in defence, and I talk about the fullback being like a kelpie dog out the back of the defensive line, and we showed some fantastic examples there where it didn't take talent or skill; it took a lot of effort from Clint Gutherson. Well, he's very similar on the other side of the footy, and here he is here. He just, again, really similar to Tedesco and Valentine Holmes examples, pushing through that middle third as Parramatta come up the field, and he's often on the inside shoulder of a big forward. So this time Reid Marnie goes through, he's pushing up in support on the right-hand side shoulder and finishes off that play. But again, in the next little example I have here, this is him pushing on the inside shoulder again of the Parramatta Eels through the middle of the park. So just on the inside shoulder of a forward or one of the ball players in Brown or Mitch Moses. It might be Will Smith this weekend, but he's always a threat. So if a marker under chases or if a marker over chases, he's going to ask some questions. So again, doesn't take skill or talent. He's just pushing through that middle third of the field and asking some questions.
We had an interview with Gutho earlier this year, and he said that he doesn't talk a lot in terms of the sheds. He leaves that up to more senior players, even Fergo and Sean Lane and those kind of guys. He said he loves leading by example out in the field, though, and that's exactly what he does each and every day.
Oh, he does, yeah. As I said before, like he's all about effort. Obviously, he's got great skill and great ability as well. He's a very talented player, but he is just full of effort, and that's why I love watching him play. And I think if you're a Parramatta Eels supporter, you'd love the effort from your captain that he puts into the game week in, week out. This time, as an example, although he doesn't have that explosive speed and power of Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, what he will do this weekend, he'll ask some questions of the Warriors on both sides of the field. This time it's the right-hand side for Parramatta Eels, but he's got the ability to pass short, pass long, but also take the line on himself. As I said, he's full of effort and he's going to ask some questions this weekend as well.
There are so many matchups to look forward to. They are just four of them that we've highlighted here on the game plan. If you're going to Magic Round, we can't wait to see you there. If you're watching from home, we hope you enjoy all the footy. Siebes, as always, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any other ideas that you want to see us analyse here on the game plan, make sure you let us know across the NRL social pages.